Well, LaPortia, the anticipation is really high. There's a lot of butterflies flying in the athletes' stomachs right now. And we're here right now at the B League versus the C League championship. We have Harambe's Avengers versus Grown Man Football, two of the best names you'll find in intramural football anywhere. So now the owner here at Jimbo's is already predicting that this gas shortage could get as bad as the one we had a couple of months ago. And so to combat that, he is limiting each of his customers to only 10 gallons at the pump. Well, Brittany, you guys might be able to hear from my voice that the smoke has been affecting me a little bit today. I'm fighting a sore throat, but I've made it through today. As for the Northeast Georgia area, there are definitely a lot of health risks that you can experience if you go outside during these smoky skies. So for years, Cine patrons have lined up at this box office to see movies that you can't really see at any other theater. And now they're lining up for one of the most anticipated movies of 2016. So the practice is going to end right around 6 o'clock. We just got dropped off back at the Buttermere building where Kirby Smart and some of the players will be coming once practice ends. Cam Gaskins here with your Grady News Source Sports. Now, North Oconee High School and Madison County High School are both preparing for their senior nights tomorrow, and we checked in with each team to see how their practices have been going. That's right, Nathaniel. Colder temperatures are definitely on the way, but one student organization at the University of Georgia is doing its best to spread a little bit of warmth to the homeless in Athens. Tony Kitchen has been homeless for nearly 3 years. He's been working at various jobs in the Athens area, but he has not had a roof over his head since he lost his house. He last worked at this Subway in downtown Athens, but this restaurant provided more than a paycheck to Kitchen.
If you can imagine to yourself, laying out cardboard boxes and laying on top of them and pulling what one blanket you do have up over you.
That's right. Last winter, Kitchen had nowhere else to sleep at night, so he turned this staircase into a bed. Equipped with nothing but some cardboard boxes, his backpack, and one lone blanket, he braved 25-degree nights for nearly 3 months.
But as far as being here, there are a lot of good people here, man. A lot of people that will help you.
And that's exactly what Morgan Chrysler wanted to accomplish when she started Cover Athens. This student group was founded just under 1 year ago with the goal of raising money to buy 75 blankets for homeless people in Athens. They ended up passing out nearly 175 blankets. This year, they hope to raise enough to buy 300 blankets and are hopeful they will exceed that goal as well.
So I think that now having more students be aware of what we're doing and what the mission behind it is, hopefully will help us a lot and have people behind us who can make that goal even bigger.
Cover Athens will be holding its first meeting of the fall in UGA's Miller Learning Center, room 153 at 6:30 p.m. And we'll have more on those colder temperatures later in weather. Well, Ariel, the emotions and the tensions were very high here at the Arch last night, but today there are still a lot of students who are reeling with the results of the election from last Tuesday. We were able to meet up with a couple of students to talk with them specifically about why they're unhappy with their new president. This was part of the scene that unfolded last night when hundreds of disgruntled people came out in droves to voice their opinions of their newly elected president. And although they might not be protesting today, some students are very much still against the idea of Donald J. Trump sitting in the Oval Office. Dustin Salmons is a political science major at the University of Georgia and is a member of the LGBT community. His biggest concern with Trump's election isn't even Trump himself, but the influence he could have on the Supreme Court, which Salmons believes is a key forum for progressive change.
If we allow for the Supreme Court to swing vastly to the right, there goes that mechanism that we have used to make such huge gains over the past few decades.
Aman Charinya is a UGA student who practices Islam. His biggest worry about a Trump administration is that Trump's campaign rhetoric regarding Muslims will carry over into the Oval Office.
There are people in our community who are genuinely fearful that in a post-Donald Trump presidency, the rhetoric that he uses and the society that he's creating has a very negative connotation of our community.
There were about 15 officers from the Athens-Clarke County Police Department here on site at the rally last night, and there was one instance where they did have to intervene in an altercation before it escalated into violence. There was a woman who was an anti-Trump supporter who was banging some trash can lids in the face of some pro-Trump supporters, and the police were very quick to get in the middle of that situation to keep it from escalating to a violent state. Reporting live from the UGA Arch in downtown Athens, Cam Gaskins, Grady News Source. Well, Brittany, you heard it in my voice on Tuesday. This smoke has definitely been affecting me as well as a lot of other people here in Athens. But the thing is, our lungs aren't the only lungs we have to worry about. As you guys can see, I'm here at Memorial Dog Park in Athens, Georgia. And if you can see them behind me in the shot, there's a couple of dogs. They're scampering in and out of the frame. They're just playing, having a good time. But there are some dogs who are not here right now because their owners are very concerned about the levels of smoke in the air and the effect that smoke could have on man's best friend. I was able to sit down with a couple of dog owners today to figure out what their levels of concern are with the smoke in the air. Meet Amora. She's an English boxer mix who was rescued by Elizabeth Layton about a year ago. While she doesn't exactly get along with other dogs at the park, she still loves going for walks and playing outside. But her owner hasn't been letting her do that as much these past few days. Layton has had to make some slight adjustments to Amora's daily routine to protect her from the heavier smoke.
I was considering taking her in morning time walks or runs, letting her play outside in the morning, but with the smoke, I don't want her outside nearly as much, so we confine playing to mostly indoors between the two dogs, which sometimes is kind of hectic with our stuff.
While Amora's routine has been altered a little bit, the dogs at the Athens Area Humane Society haven't seen any decline in their playtime outside. Dogs like Cyclone, Hurricane, and Nala haven't shown any symptoms of respiratory issues while they've been outside, so they will continue to play until the smoke gets worse. Humane Society Executive Director James Stewart says that they have monitored the smoke situation closely, but have no reason for any concerns at this point yet.
We typically don't have elderly animals here. You know, we have a few, but not so many dogs right now that are up in years. I think it would be a bigger concern for them as well. You know, and for people that are walking their dogs, they just want to, if they don't feel comfortable being out in it, then it's probably not a great thing to keep their dog out in it for an extended period of time.
Now, I was also able to talk with Patrick Reeves of the Athens-Clarke County Animal Control, and he said that the smoke hasn't gotten to a place where they're super concerned about it yet. None of their dogs or animals have experienced any kind of respiratory system or symptoms as a result of the smoke, but he did say this is a situation they are monitoring very closely. Reporting live from Memorial Dog Park in Athens, Georgia, I'm Cam Gaskins, Grady News Source.